Alright, now I'd like to have had just one sheet. However, I don't. And I don't plan on going any place to buy it. So I got this here. Plywood, this is the inner. I got the flashing there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that down. And I'm going to put it down in a way so that the heat now is going to be coming from this end. So I'm going to start on this end so that when it overlaps away from the heat and not into the heat, so the heat can't get under it. You follow? So that's about what I'm about to do. Okay, so this is where we're at so far. I'm going to flip it over so it'll be easier to cut. So I'll cut it with a blade instead of trying to cut it with the clippers. Razor blade will work just fine. I left this side longer, that you'll see once I twist it over, flip it over, because I want to tuck this side around because this is going to be the side closest to the generator. Now I didn't use any adhesive because I didn't want anything back there that was going to take a chance of getting hot and catching fire. And if it's a little loose as it is, that doesn't bother me because the hot is going to be going that way. So it's not going to be blowing under. And having a little bit of space or looseness will only help with the ventilation and keeping it cool. Now if I had some fire retardant stuff, you know what? I do. However, it's too late now. I do have some fire retardant caulk that I could have put on there, but you know what? I think I just would have been wasting a lot of material and time. So let me flip this over and get it trimmed. Then I'm going to bring it back over this way because I do want to put a few more brads in it, or staples, and a few pieces of this to make it a little bit heavier, because on some of these the staple went through and I haven't got a regulator on that, so I can't regulate the air. And this, believe it or not, I don't see any type of way of regulating the air on this one. Now my other two I can regulate, but for some reason this one, I thought I regulated this one at one time because I was using this one to put shingles on and it was blowing through the shingles. So I don't know, but meanwhile let me flip that over. I'll think about that another time, and we'll take it one step at a time. Alright, so two things. One is I did find the adjustment on this thing. I knew I had one because I've used it. The other is, because I didn't have a brake, the easiest way to do this for me was, because I wanted to tuck this corner, this whole edge here, because that is going to be the door, the side that's going to be facing the heat. So I wanted to wrap this corner. Now I didn't have a brake or any way of really bending this, so what I had done was I brought it over, tapped it down with the hammer, and then I put the clamp on it with a 2x3, and then tapped it down a little bit more, kind of get myself a good square, and that probably took the audio down on the camera. And I'll leave that like that for a few minutes. I'm going to do some more stapling now that I've got that adjusted and I can get some more in there. And then I'm going to have another cup of coffee. I'm going to let this sit here for a while. I'm not in a big hurry to put it up or anything. And then I'm going to start working on the little paint booth. So that's where I'm at. And actually I'll probably work on the paint booth right here on top of this thing. So, alright. Alright, so I don't know if you guys ever did this or not, but sometimes I'll do it if I'm doing something and I think the staple is going to go through it or not bite quite enough, and even at the lowest setting it doesn't seem to want to do the trick. So what I do is sometimes, as you can see, I X them This here way, the other staple helps this one from going, stops it from going through all the way. So by putting those little X's, it kind of helps, to be honest with you. I find it to help anyway. Now again, it would be great if I was able to just set it for the right, or have a different staple, which I haven't got. What I was thinking of doing though is, I don't want to put any tin, because then I'm going to have edges and I'm going to have to worry about getting snagged on it. So I'm thinking about just popping a couple of small washers here and there with these little washers like this, with some little screws that aren't going to go through everything, but it'll get in there and bite without going through the other side. I just got to see if I have any. Or, oh, you know what I do have I can use? I didn't even think of that. I may be overdoing this, overthinking it, but I don't want to. I got some of this stuff here. This is what they use for putting up chain link fence or cage fence. And those are 6 foot tall. And I got, I don't know, 2 there, 3, 4, 5. I could probably just put 1, 2, 3 strips up that thing, and that'll take care of it. Yeah, maybe that's what I'll do. Alright, yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I'll cut it, drill it, and put those up there. Actually, I can even use this. Yeah. Yeah, I can even use that if I had to. Alright, you know what? I've got a number of options here. But meanwhile, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to take this, and I was going to work on the spray booth on top of this, but I can see this getting in my way. So I'm going to take this off, set it over there, and start working on the spray booth.